All right, so quick intro from me. I'm Savia. I'm a solutions engineer at Browzwear. I work with brands on 3D and can how it actually fit into their everyday workflow. So before Browzwear, I was a pattern maker, so I spent quite a bit of time with the product development side myself and understand how those processes work. And over the past several years, I've been working closely in 3D as it becomes a bigger part of how teams design and develop products. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about AI and 3D and how it can work together in a workflow. So yeah, Greg, do you want to do a quick intro from your side?
Yeah, so I'm Greg. I'm a solutions engineer at Raspberry. I've been in the 3D and AI world for many years as well. Me and Savio know each other well. We know each other's softwares. We've worked together for many years in the past as well. And as people who have experienced the journey of a garment from sketch to sample, we are truly passionate about generating a true end-to-end workflow within the industry. And we know as when softwares develop and as new ones appear, it can be hard for designers and developers to hear through the noise and understand the tools that they actually need. Because roles are now becoming expanded, designers can have AI specialism or 3D specialism or both, or even become more curator-based designers. And pattern developers can also have the same type of specialisms too. Those roles are becoming more and more blended. So we've broken down a very simple end-to-end workflow to explain how you get the best of both AI and 3D solutions to create rapid ideation, clinical measurement and details, and beautifully realistic outputs. And the key is to understand where you want to position yourself and who and which departments in the company would be in charge of each stage as well.
Yeah, great. There's a lot happening in the industry, like Greg just said. With AI, it's really super exciting things and how you can use AI how quickly to generate ideas and explore creative freedoms. And what's becoming really interesting is how those ideas move forward into development. So that's exactly where how we're going to combine AI and 3D to really show the how powerful it can be. So AI helps team to move quickly at the beginning, generating concepts and visual ideas. And 3D helps teams validate those ideas, understanding how fabric behavior, controlling artwork placement, finding design details, and ultimately generating a technical information pack that needs to actually build the product. So today we're going to show a workflow that combines both. Greg is going to start in Raspberry and quickly create a design concept and some print using AI. And those assets then move into Browzwear, where I will take those concepts into 3D and show how we can refine it and simulate the garment and prepare it for development. So yeah, so I'll hand it back to Greg so you can use those to show you how that's done in Raspberry AI.
Okay, let's jump into the software. Okay, so on our platform, we have several different modules here. We have options of, for example, the concept, where we can actually create multiple lifestyle options, as well as print and pattern and things as well. Do you want to check the play again, Savio? Yeah. We have the presentation where we have the sketch to render as well. And we're going to jump into that right away. So first of all, we upload our sketch to render and we upload our technical drawing. Again, this will include things like stitch lines, the type of measurements and details that we might want. As we put it in, it gives us our suggested prompt. So our AI is trained on different details as well as actual images. So it actually references things like long sleeve, front view, pointed collar, double stitching on pocket, all of these different things it actually automatically does. We can then add different details like fabrications. So we can say like off-white, heavy, twill, cotton fabric in a casual feel, for example. And again, this is just a condensed one. You can be as descriptive as you like. and it will generate that type of fabric. What we then do is, once we've actually finished that writing, we then go down and we would actually click generate. And I'm just going to do flat lay. Once we click generate, we actually get 4 options here. And as they load, we can actually go through some of the options. We can click apparel or croquis or accessory sketch. We can put in black and white sketches or color guided. And we can even choose from highest quality to fastest, depending on what type of rendering we want to achieve afterwards. And as you can see, as we start getting our results, it's done a really good job there of the off-white. We've got the stitching details of it as well, and it follows the silhouette that we wanted as well. It even follows things like the pleats in the right position as well, and we called it out in the describe your image section as well, the pleats already. So it knows where to actually position everything. Now, before we jump into the edit, I'll just show you a few other examples from the history. It all saves your history as you go. So we can just open up a style here. And this was a reference with garment dye and with ripstop fabric with some small abrasions. We can also even put in fabric references and images. It doesn't have to be a repeat pattern. It can just be a picture. And we can actually mask off certain areas. So we could mask off a pocket area, for example, or we can just select the whole garment. And we can even upload color sketches. So it actually works really well with colored sketches. It follows the color and actually has different fabrications for those if you call them out as well. We can even add in things like printed or actual patterned styles as well. And it reads all of that detail too. So let's go back to our original and let's open this in the image editor. We could upscale to 2K or 4K. We could also download as PNGs or PSD files straight away too. So now we're in the image edit module and we actually have the mask tool. So you can actually use your lasso or you can actually select certain areas and we can make edits this way. So we can just say, oh, I want to erase this pocket, for example. We'll erase selection and it will reduce all of that pocket area and hide it. We then get different layers that we can move backwards and forwards to as well. We can also make prompt changes with the AI tool. So we can just type in the changes that we want. So we can say, change the collar into a Western style, pointed collar. We can even choose reference images. So if we have a perfect collar image that we like, the shape, we could put that in as a reference image as well. And when we apply, it will give us some different options here. So again, we've got 4 different options. We can select which ones we like, see the difference, and press confirm. And again, we can go backwards and forwards and hide those ones that we want to. I'll just remove the background quickly. And now let's have a look at the color options. So what I can do is I select all very quickly, go to my color, and we can change colors through color row codes if we work that way by selecting there or typing in the code, or we can go to our color picker and select color pickers, or we can even import color palettes as well. So we can import color palettes and have our whole color palette to select from. We can even adjust the shadow strength so that we're not getting that kind of distorted, noisy feel. And we can even batch recolor. So we can select all of them, add all of them, and we will get all of these options added. So this way we can create lots of different colorways very, very quickly. I'll just go back and I'll just clear that mask. And we can see the different color options there. We can also add graphics or artworks or details. So again, I can go into my asset library and I can just add a badge that I created as well. So you can turn things into label looks or embroidery details and things and add them separately. And you can add them on. And again, if we don't click the AI Advanced, you can actually move them wherever you want to afterwards, building up your details. We can also go back to our select all, and we can actually apply print or pattern on there. Now, lots of people know that we've got this amazing print option where you can actually generate prints, but you can actually also generate things like checks and stripes and variations. So you can even have your best-selling check and work on variations of them for the next season in there too. You can adjust your size and scale, so you get a really good idea of what you want that size and scale to be. You can position it as well, and then we then click apply. This will then apply onto the shirt again. We get that shadow strength that we can apply backwards and forwards as well, so that we have the nice option there. And we'll just press confirm. Now, one last thing is we can actually add image references as well. So we could say change buttons to these home buttons, for example, and keep the button size the same. And once we click apply, this will then generate and change all of the buttons to be the home button option. I can then select them and click confirm to the one that I want, and we have that. And we can keep reiterating or reprompting to change different details as well. We can then hide variations of our layers as well. Once we've done that, we can then save to the library, and we can actually save, for example, as a project file. And that will then save all of your layers. So you can save your actual file as a project file and go back to those layers afterwards. Now we've got our final green style, we can jump into the on body. And this is where we can actually visualize how we actually want our style to maybe fit or maybe look, or kind of how it's going to position itself on the body. So first of all, we can add a model. And again, this is a model created in our lifestyle photography section. And you can add up to 4 different garments on our on body. So you could add shoes, you could add shirts, layering pieces, and then you just describe the fit as well. So again, we could say something like fully buttoned up. We could say the fit of the shirt is slim to regular fit. You can be more and more descriptive if you want to be. So you can say slightly cropped, you can say wide on the sleeves, you can say all of those different descriptions to give you an idea of how that's going to look. And that will then generate, again, 4 images for you to select from. So again, this is the real difference. And again, you'll see this when we jump over to Savio in a minute, that this fitting or this idea is much more for a design ideation stage to say, this is how I imagine this to look, or this is how I imagine this style to really be dressed. And then it would be onto Savio's side for the more technical aspect. So you can see previously this was kind of described as maybe slim fit or regular fit. So it's a bit more looser. So there are slight differences depending on the prompts that you use. So again, we'll just select that style. And again, you could upscale to 2K or 4K if you wanted to as well. Now I'm just going to jump into my folder, select the style that I want, and I'm going to export using our plugin to Browzwear, select the group on Style Zone that we want. I'm going to select the end-to-end webinar board and export those assets that I want to. And that will get sent directly to Style Zone. And then that's over to Savio.
All right. That was really amazing. And like Greg said, it's so quickly you can generate design concept and visual direction in AI. And then we can take those design concepts for development in Browzwear. So we'll start with Style Zone first. So where 3D becomes really useful is how we can start looking at things and how the garment behaves and how the fabric behaves in 3D and how it's different when you're using different fabrics. You will see the difference in the fit as well, and how those artwork sits on the body, and also maybe creating a reference point within the pattern for that placement of artwork. and refining details like placement and proportions of print, etc. So at early stage, this is great because you can get that validation from the right stakeholders before you moving into 3D, where you are the ones that the garment has been approved and go for the next stages of the product life cycle. All right, let me start with Style Zone. So Style Zone, let me go back here. Here we go. All right, so Style Zone is our web-based platform. So this is where teams manage and review digital styles, whether that's internally or using your vendors or external partners. It's also where some of our AI tools live. So Greg uploaded a couple of things in here. So we have the shirt and also the generated print. So instead of building the garment from scratch in VStitcher, what I'm going to do is we're going to use our AI match tool, and it will analyze the garment image and find the closest matching pattern block from existing library. So what's important here is that AI isn't looking just at the visual part of the image. It's also looking at the underlying garment structure. So that allows us to find the closest block and use that as a starting point. Now that we have our match, I will open directly in VStitcher and then continue the design process in 3D. So now here in VStitcher, you can see that the shirt is already simulated on the avatar. And right now it's using a French terry fabric. So before changing anything, I'll quickly turn on pressure and tension map, which helps us evaluate how the garment is interacting with the body. And you can see that this gives designers and developers immediate feedback on fit at different stress areas. Now, let's experiment with different fabrics. So inside our material library, we have a large set of pre-scanned fabrics, but brands can also scan and add their own material. So their teams are always working with your fabrics they actually use. So they could be your seasonal fabrics or fabric that that you always use. So what makes this powerful is that how the fabric behaves in a simulation. So Browzwear captures the physical properties of a real fabric using our proprietary scanning machine, so which allows us to simulate how those materials will actually drape and react in 3D. You can see that I'm quickly testing a few different fabrics, just to show you how the garment behaves in different materials. So we went from like an Oxford fabric to like a crinkle cotton. Now we're looking at sort of that satin fabric. So we can also see those texture details as well as the fit map. So each fabric has a different weight, stiffness, and drape. And you can see that reflected immediately in the simulation and pressure map. So within seconds, we can evaluate different material direction without ordering a single physical sample. All right, let's switch back to original fabric so we can move to the next step. Next, we're gonna look at how to add like a pocket detail. So create a pocket pattern here and place it directly on the shirt so we can see how it looks in 3D. From here, I can adjust the position to get the proportions right. And if need be, we can have a precise placement. You can use that X and Y coordinates, even measure it from the shoulder neck point or the center front point, just to lock that position exactly. Once the position looks right, we'll duplicate and stitch those stitch that pocket in the 3D. Let's run the simulation, and then we can look at some of the key details to add some, top stitching details so that you can really bring that to life. I know it looks boring and gray now, but we're going to add some colors next. So let's look at the color and artwork workflow. So first, I'll quickly run through a few different color options in VStitcher. We can apply colors directly to the garment and immediately see the updated in 3D window. Colors can be defined using RGB values, hex codes, color pickers, or even import ASE or ACO files as a color palette, seasonal color palette. We'll also update the thread color as well, so you can see those key details here. All right, now let's bring in that all over print Greg created earlier. And now I'll apply the artwork to the garment and create a new colorway for it. Right now, the plaid is sitting at a default scale, where we can easily adjust either visually within the 3D window, and you'll see that I'm doing that adjustment now. Also, there is an exact percentage value that you can add in as well. So say you want to see that like 70%, you'll be able to type that value in. So you can be super precise. And another useful control is the artwork orientation. So I'm just changing the orientation of that pocket to a bias direction. So you can keep the rest of the shirt aligned to grain and not just the pocket. Let's also add some precise artwork placement for the shirt. So just matching on the side seams and the sleeves, just to get that placement of the artwork and the all over print right. All right, awesome. Let's now look at how we can create the tech pack. So firstly, I'll review the measurement point references I added earlier. As I hover over them, you can see that corresponding measurement points are highlighted on the pattern pieces. Once everything looks correct, I can generate a tech pack directly from the style. This will automatically compile key information like the 2D garment renders, pattern layout, bill of material, artwork placement, and also those relevant measurement specs that we added. So the teams can review digital garment, align on the design, and then send clear specifications directly to the vendor. The file exported as an Excel document here, and you can share this with vendor, helping ensure that the developed product what you develop is produced matches what they were designed. All right, so before I wrap up my part, there's one more thing that I want to show you. So far we've been working on standard fit avatar, which is great for development, but we can also present the garment on an AI model directly from the cloud. So here you can see a selection of AI avatars available inside Browzwear, and the brands can also create custom models that reflects their identity. Bring one of these avatars and I can dress that garment on the model here. And now you can see the shirt is simulated on the AI model. What's important here is that this isn't just placing the garment on a flat image. We're actually dressing that same 3D garment on that body form. So brands can actually create those AI models that reflects not only your visual identity, but also the specific body sizing and fit standards. So these garments that we developed earlier, we're just showing the different poses of them. And I can share these styles directly into StyleZone, which will publish those renders and the poses so that teams can review and collaborate around the same digital asset. And this is exactly where I will hand it back to Greg so that he can take that into Raspberry AI and create some really cool marketing content. All right, Greg.
Nice. Thanks, Javier. So yeah, we'll jump back in, and this is how, again, our plugin works. So we can actually bring in, we select import from Browzwear. And again, this is where it reads each other's storage platforms. And they can actually bring in import from each particular folder. So we can select Browzwear, we can go back to the same selection, and we can select the renders that have been uploaded, and we import. And this can import all of the renders that we've done into a new folder. We can then select any of those and go straight into the edit outfit. So again, we can select the style that we want. and we can jump into the image editor. So again, this is the same edit module that we were using to create a garment, but we're going to use it to edit our photo shoot images as well. So now we've got the perfect fit. So everything about this outfit, the fit is right, and the actual model measurements are right as well. We can put in the prompt, change the background to a simple studio light backdrop, um, plain kind of lighting or plain images. And we can even choose reference images. So again, we can select shoes, accessories, details like that. And we can say add these shoes. And again, you can be as specific as you like. We could use the prompt assist to help us with this prompting as well, to give us more detail. So what we would do is we'd click apply, and again, we get the same options. We get 4 different options to select from as they're loading. And what's going to happen is the outfit remains the same, the model measurements remain the same, but we've just gotten some nice styling and some nice backdropping and a little bit of adjustment in the lighting. So we can select the one that we like and we can select confirm.
And that really brings that garment into life as well. This is amazing.
Yeah, it really does. Okay. Do you want to go back one? Sorry, Savio. There you go. And yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Sorry, I was
perfect.
just saying that we both work for a IT company and can't use PowerPoint. So there you go.
Okay, so yeah, so once we've got that style, kind of the back details done, we can then use the prompt system. We can say improve this prompt, like change to a pose that's more natural. That's going to give us a much more detailed description of the pose, because nowadays, the more descriptive the prompt, the kind of better outputs you tend to get. That's why our prompt assist is so good to help you achieve those best outputs possible. And we'll apply, and you can see here we're getting some good results. We've got some tucked into the trousers. We'll just keep it untucked with just one kind of hand in the pocket. And
I
again, we can
always
select the one that we like.
was going to say that I always find adding the prompt is the hardest part for me. So having that prompt assist is great.
Yeah, yeah. We get a lot of good feedback from the prompt assist. It really helps, especially as designers or developers. We're not really ones with words. We're more ones with our pens and pencils.
I
So it really
agree.
helps us. You can even change models as well. So you can have your model references. So you can build out or create models and avatars in Raspberry. And you can just say change the model to the reference model. So again, this is good for if there's any clients who sell in different continents, for example, who might need to use different ethnicities for different sections. All of that type of thing really helps. Um, and yeah, we'll get a few different options. We'll wait for those to go through. And again, we've got one really good one. We've got a couple of good ones, and we'll just select the one that we like the best, that one there. So again, you can see that we can save this as an actual project rather than a PNG if we wanted. And you can go back and hide those certain sections and see the history as well. And again, you can keep prompting, you can keep changing. You could say change the shirt to be red. You can say change the trousers to be black. All of these different prompts you can do to edit them. And once we've got that edit outfit, we can then go into the next section. And this is the multi-view. So in our studio option here, we had the on-body presentation, but we also have the multi-view. So here we can actually upload the creation that we just did with the edits. And then we can actually select the different views as well. So we can say left view, for example, here, and it will generate for us. We can also select things like the shot length. So you can see we can have medium long to medium close, and it will generate a new shot for us of that particular angle. So again, these settings really reduce the needing for prompting all your different views and angles and poses and just makes it very, very easy to generate. Very soon we're launching the batch multi-view where you'll be able to select multiple views at once and just hit go to generate them all at once. So again, here you can see, yeah, we could generate all of our ecom images from there if we really wanted to. So again, yeah, you can see we get really nice close-up options too. Now, if we have our ecom options, we can also, with our lifestyle photography, create really editorial images and poses and lighting and scenery and all of those details to really sell the dream of our actual garments. So again, we can create these. And again, this was created in our lifestyle photography, and we can just bring it in our edit module, we can just replace the model or replace the character with our particular styles. You can also replace particular items. So you could say, oh, replace this with our shirt or replace this with our trousers. But the key point is that because we've generated this back from the 3D back into AI, if we replace with our character, all of this fit is going to be read from that original 3D image. So we have confidence that it's going to fit exactly how we want it to as well. We can even say, show a new casual pose. And again, if we wanted to be more specific, we could be more specific and have the prompt assist help us with that as well. But this was just a general kind of prompt just to show you that we can get all different options here. And just within this particular section, you can create a full kind of editorial section with 4 different views. You can say like, I'll zoomed in here. You could generate a view which is like rotated round so you can see out the window. All of these different options you can prompt. So you can create a bit more of a whole catalog around that particular style. You can even then bring that into video creation. So again, video creation, we have starting frame and end frame, which is great for things like ecom. So you can say like, do the front and then the back, and then show them rotating around, which is a great use case for us. We also have select presets. So we can select some presets and we can actually use some of our lifestyle photography images or our more editorial images to create videos. So we can just say our model take hand out of his pocket and turn slightly and generate.
It's pretty cool.
And this will then generate a really nice video for us to use to pair with all of that information. And again, because it's come from the 3D, it's read all of that fit elements. So you know that the video, the fit of it all kind of is going to be very similar. Again, you have options where you could increase the length, you can have a high resolution mode, all of those different details.
All right. Before we recap, we are getting loads of questions, which is great. Please keep putting those questions in the chat. We will, if we can't get to them, we will follow up with those later on as well. All right. Just to recap here, Greg, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll just jump into our board section, which we're going to be launching soon, which is our node-based kind of platform, a bit more of a whiteboard where we can add lots of images and do our workflows this way. But this is a really good way to kind of visualize the whole section where we go from sketch to render, selecting fabrics, and then we can choose colorways. Then we can do our edit details in the edit module. And then we can do a visualization of how that fit is going to look on that person as well. And then we can jump over to Savio.
Yeah. And so once you have that concept come from Raspberry, we can create and refine it in 3D. So we can test fabric, we can adjust the artwork, adding other key details around the development of that style itself, and create outputs, technical outputs, such as spec pack, etc. Then we can also take those assets back into a tool like Raspberry and create exciting ecom images. So the more you can give AI, the better the output be. So the front end, we are again using those trusted assets from 3D, like the fit, and then when you combine that with the how quickly you can create in outputs from AI tool, this is just a
Mhm.
match made in heaven.
Mhm. And we know that it's we say it's the end-to-end solution. And remember what we said at the start, where it was thinking about kind of your roles. And again, we're not expecting like one particular role to do the whole thing. You can rely on, for example, vendor submissions for part of it if you don't have that in-house, or other options.
Right.
Um, and yeah, it's about that kind of end to end. And we know that samples, we've worked in the industry beforehand as designers and technical pattern developers, and we know that there's nothing like a sample, like the touch, the feel, how it feels on the body, how it falls.
Absolutely.
We don't want to stop sampling. We say that it's going to be like first sample, right sample. We're going to reduce the waste of all of those samples in advance, because we're giving so much technical information and visual information to how we want that sample to be.
Yeah, great. So that brings the end of our session. So we, looked at how AI and 3D in fashion workflow lets you create faster concepts and accurate development and real content. So hopefully this gave you a good look at how AI and 3D can work together across concept and development and content creation. If there is something that you're exploring on your own or in your workflows, we would love to continue the conversation. Please feel free to reach out to Browzwear or Raspberry for more information or a deeper demo on certain things that you saw. With restricted time, we were just showcasing a few different things in there. Greg and I could talk all day
Yeah.
about our solutions here. Yeah, really appreciate you joining and taking time out of your day to join this webinar.
Mhm. And
Nice.
remember, it's not 3D versus AI, it's 3D and AI.
Great. Love it. Exactly. Yeah, that's the takeaway from today's webinar here. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate everyone. Thank you, Greg. And we'll hopefully have another session soon. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Savio. A pleasure
Right.
again.
Yeah, thank you.